Hey guys, welcome to lesson number 2 of our Shape It Up class. So this time we're going to be using the hexagon punch. And so what I've seen people use the hexagon is that they punch out the shapes and from pattern paper and then create a quilt. So that's kind of the foundation inspiration for this page, but instead of using pattern paper, I'm actually going to be making my own pattern paper with washi. So here are some of the washes that I pulled out from my stash. It's kind of a rainbow color, so we'll see if I can use all of it or just a few of them. And I'm just putting it in a metal container. I found this at my Goodwill store, and it's just kind of nice when I'm putting things together for little things for a project, and I could just store that in. Another thing that I'm going to use are some ink pads. These are from SCI. Now the reason why I chose these colors because I want to do kind of an ombre effect with my stamping. Speaking of stamps, I have a few stamps that I've decided to use here, again with the idea of making my own pattern paper. And so here are 2 stamps that I plan on using, the small celebrate one and then the flower. And then I also have some word stamps here that maybe I could use as strips kind of to go along with the washi tape. So those are some of the ones that I plan. And of course I already said that I was going to use the hexagon punch, and then I'm also going to use a border punch to create just a little bit border on some of the strips of my paper. And this one's from Fiskars, and it's just the scallop one. This is one of my favorites right now, so I really like that one. Okay, I'm going to move that around. And then for photo, I just have one 4x6 photo, and I've already printed my journaling, and so that's going to be the photo. And then that right there. And then for title, I'm thinking of using the one that says here we go, because it is a travel themed page that I'm creating. This one's from Amy Tangerine. This is just foam thickers, and I love her handwriting, so I'm gonna put that in there. And then I have a few white cardstock scraps because I am planning on using the washi as my pattern paper. I need that to go on something sturdy so I can punch out the shapes, and so I'm going to use white because the washi is see-through, so I want the background to be neutral. And then I am going to use some pattern paper here, not a whole lot, but I'm kind of focusing on the subtle colors. So this one they're all from Echo Park paper, and this one's Splendid Sunshine, and then there's 2 that's This and That by Lori Whitlock. So I have this kind of muted green or mint, and then the brown, and then also this very subtle notebook paper. So that's going to be my papers. I'm sure that I'm going to have a cardstock, maybe not white, maybe brown to go with that. I think that's a cute one. But anyways, those are the items that I'm planning on using for this particular layout, and let's get on with the process. All right, so the first thing I want to do is I want to make my own pattern paper that I'm going to be punching out hexagon shapes out of. So I just added the washi on that white cardstock scrap, and I'm just going to be layering that horizontally onto the paper. I don't really have a rhyme or a reason what kind of washi went or was stuck next to each other. I was just kind of going by a little bit of a rainbow effect. I know this is not the total rainbow because it doesn't have all of the exact ones that I have. Like it has different shades of the green and different shades of the blue, but I liked how it looked. And then I also added the black and white in the middle of some of these just to kind of break up the colors. But I love using this. I just wish that I would be able to say that I used up my washi stash by doing this, but of course it seems like the washi is you know, you never really run out of it. So I still have a ton of these specific ones, but I am still glad that I was able to use them up, some of them anyways, on this page. And so I'm not going to trim the edges of this because I don't really need to, but I am going to pull out my hexagon punch and I'm just going to punch away. So as you can see, the when I punch out the shapes, it would only grab some of the colors. It won't grab all of the colors of the rainbow that I put. But that's totally fine because then I can mix it up on my border that I'm going to be creating. So I'm just punching that away, and then I'm going to do that for the rest of the scraps of white paper that I have. I love the result, and that's why I was giving it a thumbs up. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do some kind of making my own pattern paper with stamps. Now this is where I wanted to do kind of the ombre effect, and so I have these three colors, and then I'm going to start with the medium color, which is kind of this melon orange, and then I'm going to go with the red one on the top, and then this kind of beige on the bottom. And the stamp is a birthday stamp or a party stamp from Technique Tuesday. And it was a good attempt, but I don't think I punched it out really, or I stamped it really well. I pressed on the stamp really well because the bottom piece was really very, very subtle. You can hardly see the words on there, but I'm gonna go with it. I like the look of the ombre. So and besides, there's gonna be all other accents on my border, and so I don't mind that it's not totally noticeable. And then I'm going to be stamping out some of these words. It's another Technique Tuesday stamp, and they're just a bunch of words, and I'm going to be stamping them. I tried to do the subtle color first, and it was very light, and then I'm going to go in with this red one. Then I'm going to go with orange. I'm doing the kind of the ombre effect again, but instead of it going from darkest to lightest, it's just going to be a mix of it. So I added some words, and there was also a few borders like arrows and circles and stars on there, and so I'm going to be adding that. So I like that look, and then I'm going to punch a couple of that. Now if you guys don't like to, of course, break up your words, then you don't have to use long words like this, but like I said, it's just an added design, and so I like that one. Now as you can see, I punched out, and then it it left part of the white, and that's okay because that's going to be covered with my paper anyways. And then this is my third way that I'm going to use my stamp to create my own pattern paper, and that is just stamping out an image all over the paper and then punching out shapes out of that. I love that star. That's one of my favorite little bitty stamps, and there is my pattern paper. So here is my block of finished hexagon with washi, with stamps, and then I just added that on a white piece of paper. I did punch out a border with the scallop punch, and oh, I didn't use a white border. I actually used the mint or the light turquoise paper as my border. And then I added the hexagons with just a slight border or space in between the hexagons, so you can actually see that light turquoise paper peeking through in between the hexagons. And then I cut out the grid pink paper that is about a 1/4 inch smaller than my card base, and then I'm going to adhere that. This time I didn't cut out the blue cardstock center of my background cardstock because I have a lot of cardstocks already. I don't mind that, not cutting that out. And then I'm adhering my border. And then I have these little pieces that I've cut from the border. They're leftovers, and now I'm gonna adhere that on the 2 right corners of my page so that it will create a visual triangle on my layout. So there is, as you can see, you have that big long border on the left, and then you have just little tiny pieces left over of that hexagon on the top right and on the bottom right. And then I'm also just going to be using a single photo for this specific page. There was only one photo that I have of this specific memory, so I just decided to do that. And there you have it. And then I matted my photo with the bold pink paper that was actually the back side of the
light blue turquoise. And then the back side of the brown paper had some of these words that says remember, adventure, and explore. And so I cut some of that part out, and then I used my corner rounder to add some design on the edges of it. I like that corner rounders or punches like corner rounders help to break up some of the very rigid edges of squares and triangles. So I like to go with that. And then I'm going with the Here We Go title that is part of an Amy Tangerine Thickers, and it's just white. And then I have pre-printed my journaling, and then I'm going to be stamping my date onto that remember piece. And then I remember that I have these dots. They're just sticker dots from EK Success, and I'm going to be sprinkling that on 3 different parts of my layout, another accent to go with my visual triangle. And that's going to do it for this lesson. It's been a really quick and easy way to use up the hexagon punch, but and also it's fun to be able to pull out our stash and make our own pattern papers. I hope you enjoyed this class, and I will see you in lesson number 3.